The views and opinions expressed in this channel are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views of our guests. The views and the opinions of the guest do not represent nor reflect the views and opinions of the Lockoutmen channel, nor its host. Our guests' opinions are their own. This channel is for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes only, and utilizes fair use materials in accordance with applicable laws.
So we're going to start this episode at Laker Park. And look where I'm at, though. Look where I'm at. Yes, sir. Told you. And look, man, today we about to get into it because I talked about this subject last week. And in that episode about the driver that made that illegal U-turn and took out 3 people in the process, listen, man, I told you that the company that he was driving for was either going to go underground or they was going to go bankrupt. Here it is. A couple of weeks later, we get a little bit more details on what happened to the driver or what's going on with the driver and what happened to the company.
Hold on.
So, 3 lives lost. A stupid decision that a truck did, an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike at a part that he's not supposed to make that U-turn. A company that he was driving for went ghost in the middle of the night. See, this isn't just a tragic accident. It's a symptom of a broken system. See, the company that he was driving for, White Hawk Carriers, out of California, if I'm not mistaken, had over 80 violations. 80. Let's break it down right quick. Suspended CDLs, disqualified drivers, and yet the company was still in business. But of course, every black ops company could still be in business. And you can have over 100 violations and still be in business. But until that fateful day when the driver made that illegal U-turn, turned this company upside down. And now the company is nowhere to be found. They up and packed overnight, just like Art Modell did with the Browns.
I leave Cleveland, Ohio, 35 years, and leave my heart, a good part of my heart and soul there.
What happens when a situation of that magnitude happens? When a ghost fleet operates up under the shadows, and then they up and go ghost.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
What's going on, drivers? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for listening. I am Lockout Men. So let's just start off what happened. Let's go back in time right quick, right? So you guys know this incident happened on August 12th in Florida on the Turnpike, where a truck driver who worked for the now known White Hawk Carriers, he made an illegal U-turn that took out 3 people. The driver, as we now know as Harjinder Singh, right? But let me stop right there. Even though I'm pronouncing his name wrong, it really doesn't matter. But this isn't the same guy that took out the bridge a few years ago. Even though they got the same name, they're 2 different dudes. So hopefully we can pretty much kill that information that's going around on social media right now while everybody is saying, hey, that's the same dude that took out that iconic bridge in Virginia. Yeah, you could say, but 2 different guys, 2 different ages, 2 different times. But this one was able, when he made that illegal U-turn, right? He was able to leave. They let him go. This driver literally took out 3 people, like homicide. Okay, we're going to investigate it and we're going to get back at you at a later date, which they did. He went back to California. Guess what that dude was about to do? He was about to get ready to go.
Until
He was arrested for 3 counts of vehicular homicide. As of this recording, he's been extradited from California back to Florida to face those charges. So let's talk about the driver for a minute, right? Come to find out, he entered the U.S. illegally back in 2018. Somehow he obtained his California CDL out of California, of course. To my understanding, it's like all domicile and all this kind of weird stuff that I'm going to be honest with you that I'm not particularly up on, but I'm going to do my homework on domicile, non-domicile, stuff like that. I just know that if you are a citizen of the USA, legally, you can obtain a driver's license and or a CDL. But this guy in 2018 came across the border, managed to get his CDL, and this company, Whitehawk, brought him on the drive for the last couple of years. To this day, how was he able to fly up under the radar? Your guess is as good as mine. See, after they arrested him, he did the proficiency test, which of course he flunked. He couldn't read the English, he couldn't tell the signs, and he definitely couldn't talk the English. He needed a translator to do the talking for him. And right now, that was some of the problems with foreign guys driving these streets, not knowing the signs. So is it possible that he could not know that that was an illegal U-turn? I mean, just look at the area where he was trying to turn at. Like, could you really get a 18-wheeler through that narrow space? What if, let's say, if the driver didn't crash into him and that accident never happened, he still would have been stuck, right? Now, of course, Harjinder or whatever, however you pronounce his name, I'm sorry, they're gonna kick him out of the US after he serves his sentence. And we're looking at 3 counts. So it could be life. I'm not saying. Could be 15, which is 30, another 15, which is 45, right? Could be that, or it could be life. Maybe they might just keep him for the 15 and just say, hell with it, deport his ass. We don't know. We'll see how this trial is going to turn out. But see, drivers, the real question is, how did he get behind the wheel in the first place? Well, drivers, that's where the company Whitehawk Carriers come into play. Now, of course, the CEO, I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce his name. Let me see. Navneet Kerr. Navneet? We're just going to call him CEO for right now. CEO of Whitehawk Carriers. They used to go up under a different name. Why that don't surprise me. The name before it was White Trucking LLC, based out of California, right? Or I'm sorry, it was either White Trucking or White Star. One of the two, but as of right now, it is Default Trucking right now. So this company right here had a long history of violations, starting with 80 violations in the last 2 years. They had trucks placed out of service about 28% of the time, and their drivers been placed out of service about 13% of the time. Their violations includes false logs, why that don't surprise me, suspended CDLs, disqualified drivers, and the least of it all, speeding. But let's focus on the false logs. We all know what that means, right? We don't need to go into detail about any black op companies that have a violation that includes false logs. So let's continue. So after the crash, which was devastating, it was fatal, took out 3 people, Whitehawk's operations ceased to exist. Their authority is revoked. Their insurance lapsed, and the company went ghost.
And like that, he's gone.
What'd I tell y'all last week? And the company, you might as well say the company is bankrupt. That this driver, we know his situation. What's gonna be about the company? And we just found out. They just went.
And like that, he's gone.
Just like that in thin air. Overnight, like Art Modell taking the Browns over to Baltimore.
The Browns are indeed coming to Baltimore.
The city of Baltimore.
They Facebook page, gone. No public statements, out of here. No accountability, none. Just silence from this company. And I knew this company was going to go underground. I knew they was going to go bankrupt. I knew they was going to throw this driver up under the bus because they knew it. They seen it. As soon as it happened, I guarantee you, they probably packed up and left last week. So drivers, this isn't about a company. This is about a system that probably let it happen, right? Non-domicile CDLs, drivers who can't read, write, speak the English, or even know the signs of the highways that they're driving on. Companies with violations, loan violations, still able to get loads, still able to have their trucks on the road. And when tragedy strikes like it did last week, the company just up and disappear overnight. I know a lot of you guys been asking, we need reform. And I get it. I understand it. I feel you on that. I think we do need some type of reform when it comes to black op companies operating in the U.S. We need accountability. That driver should have known better. He should have known better. He should have known that that was an illegal U-turn, number one. Number two, he should have known that he wouldn't have made it anyway. If the accident didn't happen, it was going to be an accident anyway because he wasn't going to make that turn. Why make that turn, driver? What you was thinking? Us truck drivers, all of us out here, man, we're trying to do good. We're trying to do right. But by us doing right, it's being undermined by ghost fleets like White Hawk carriers and carriers out of Chicago as well, because they've been in far worse accidents than this that has caused concern. Drivers, White Hawk carriers is gone. But are they really? Give it a couple of years. You might hear the same CEO might be back up under a different company. I'm going to mark that today. Mark my words. If that CEO of that company, if they find him, sue him for everything that he got, right? If they can't find him, I guarantee within a couple of years, he's going to sneak his ass right back into the U.S. and going to start up another logistics company. Mark my words. Even though right now they're going ghost, the danger is still here. See, there are more companies like this, especially out of Chicago, all right? There's plenty of black op companies that has the same outlook, the same thing as White Hawk carriers. They got some ill drivers. They got drivers that's doing ill stuff, and they letting them get away with it because, number one, it's about the money. You can make money with the black ops company. I ain't gonna cap. A lot of you guys make money, but the only way to make the money that the black op companies say that you can make, you have to do stuff that's not part of the rules. More drivers are slipping through the cracks. That's how y'all getting away. More families out on these roads are at risk because you don't know if that driver is here legally or illegally. But let's not just say the legality of it. It could be drivers that's already here driving. They don't even have to be illegals. It could be legal drivers. This B is going to get. It could be actual drivers from the U.S. that's born, raised, bred. They do the same thing. They've been in terrible accidents. They've been in fatality crashes. It's because of the stupid things that they do. They run illegal. They drive fatigue. So it's not just the foreigners. It's not just the black ops. You got to put all truck drivers that can potentially be this driver right here. So right now, drivers, it's going to happen. It always happened. I'm going to say that we can't wait for the next crash to happen, but this is trucking. This is the road. This is the highway. You never know what the next driver of that four-wheeler is doing or the next driver of that semi-truck is doing. But I tell you what, though, we do need to speak up, right? We do need to demand better. We need to protect the reputations of us drivers out here that are doing it right. Until next time, drivers.
If you've been impacted by unsafe carriers, if you've seen the system fail, If you've got a story to tell, email us at lockoutmenpodcastguest@gmail.com. We want to hear from you, and if this episode hit home, share it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because silence protects the wrong people, and we're here to break that silence.